Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
You must know what you're going after. You must know what you are going after. You can't live your life meandering around hoping you hit something, and whatever you hit, you say, that's what I was aiming at. You have to have a specific target in mind. Most people don't succeed at getting what they're going after because they don't take the time to research what they're going after. They ask for things and then see if they want them. But you have to be careful about that, because if you ask for something, you might get it. And before you start blabbing what all you want to see God do, you need to be sure that that's what you want to see happen in your life. Know what you're going after. Now you say amen to that, but there's very few people who live by that principle. Most people want everything they see somebody else with. They buy clothes that don't look good on them. They wear hairstyles that don't look good on them. They buy houses they can't afford because they're trying to keep up with somebody else. But if you really want to be a winner, if you really want to come off as successful, if you really want to be bright, only go after things that are meant for you to have. It will make you look successful. And what makes you look bright is when you pick your battles. There are some things that you don't fight because that's not your fight. You don't get into that thing. You don't pick those battles. You don't covet what you see somebody else fight down, because they're anointed to fight that. They can do that. You might not be gifted to fight that area, and you don't want to covet somebody else's battle or covet somebody else's success. Covet, and the other word I want you to think about is the word envy, because envy is the attitude that you have about other people's success. When you become envious of other people's success, you fail to become everything that God would have you to be. And the quickest way to stop being envious of other people's success is to know that God has something for you, that everything in your life is preparing you for that thing, that there are in your life defining moments. This is a critical issue. There are in your life defining moments, moments that if you handle properly, they are pivotal points that change your life for a lifetime. It is at these moments that if you know what you're going after, everything that you went through before is justified in preparing you for these defining moments. When you come to the defining moments in your life, you can look at the other moments in your life and say, Lord, I wasn't happy about that when it happened, but I'm glad now that it happened. Because I realized that if I hadn't have gone through that, I wouldn't be ready for this. Everything you took me through before was preparing me for this moment, and now I'm ready to go after what God has promised me and receive it at all costs. Know what you're going after. Be clear about your direction. Don't wake up in the morning and see if something's going to happen. Wake up in the morning to make something happen. Get up out of the bed with an agenda. But people who get up like that, nothing does happen, and the days turn to weeks, and the weeks turn to months, and the months turn to years. Years of mediocrity is what causes people to be bitter. If you want to get around bitter and complaining people, get around people who are not seeing much activity. They're bitter, they're complaining, they're cynical, and they're jealous because nothing is happening. If you want to get around less gossip and less jealousy, get around successful, busy people. Because busy people don't have time to care what's going on in your life. I have no need to investigate what's going on in your life. I have so much going on in my own life that I'm not interested in what I heard that they said that you thought, that if I thought what you said that I didn't mean if you heard it. The only people who have time for that is people who are not doing anything. And they watch your life like it's a soap opera because they're living their life vicariously through you. What's going on in your life intrigues them because nothing is going on in their life. And if you want to stop that from happening to you, wake up in the bed and know what you're going after. Get up out of the bed with an agenda. When you have an agenda, you don't spend time worried about how you feel, because it doesn't make any difference how you feel. You woke up with something to do.
Setting goals. It can turn out to be a drama for your life. Here's what goals are. Your vision of the future. Your vision of the future. Now, there's two ways to face the future. One, with apprehension. Number two, with anticipation. Guess how most people face the future? With apprehension. Why? Major reason why. They don't have it well designed. They've left the design of their future to somebody else. And if you don't make plans of your own, guess what? You'll probably fall into someone else's plan. Guess what someone else may have planned for you? Not much. You got to make a list of this not much stuff. I'm telling you, people all their lives count on this not much list. If all of your negative relatives all turn positive, what'll that do for your future? Not much. If prices come down a little, what'll that do for your future? Not much. If the economy gets a little better, what'll that do for your future? Not much. If circumstances get a little better, what'll that do? Not much. If the weather gets a little better over the next few years, that'll do. Not much. I mean, you can go right down this whole scenario list. Most people all their lives, with their fingers crossed, count on this not much list. That's why 10 years from now, they'll be driving what they don't want to drive, living where they don't want to live, wearing what they don't want to wear, doing what they don't want to do, having what they don't want to have, maybe become what they didn't want to become. And it all starts by counting on something that's not going to count much. You say, well, then how can my life dramatically change? You got to count on yourself. Here's one of the things you got to count on: your ability to design the future. It's called promise. And the promise of the future, if you'll design it well, can have an awesome effect on your life. But if you face the future with apprehension, you'll take hesitant steps all day, uncertain steps all day. And if you take uncertain steps all day for 6 years, you can imagine how empty your life is. We've got to help our kids with the promise. Now here's what's connected to the promise: the price. The price to pay. And I'm telling you, the price is easy if the promise is clear. One of the better notes to make for today. Price is easy if the promise is clear and powerful. But the price seems almost too much to pay, too much to get over, too much to accomplish if the promise isn't clear. The promise isn't powerful. I'm telling you, kids will pay the discipline if they can see the promise. One of our biggest challenges as parents in the 90s is to help our kids see the promise of the future. That's why I'm teaching financial independence, how to become wealthy and powerful and sophisticated and healthy and unique. All of the stuff kids would hope to go for. It's all possible. This is America. That's the promise of the future. The price, a few simple disciplines practiced every day, and I'm telling you, the kids will pay the price of the simple disciplines if they can see the promise of the future. But if they can't see, they don't want to pay. And the same is true of all of us. We will pay the most extraordinary discipline if we can see the promise of the future. It's called setting goals. So I'm asking you to get a handle on the future. I'm asking you not to leave it to anyone else. Don't leave it to the company. The company's got their own goals. I'm asking you to set your own goals, your personal goals. Income goals, and financial goals, and health goals, and spiritual goals. And where do you want to go, and what do you want to do, and what do you want to see, and what do you want to be? That's it. Promise of the future. Design your own future within your hands, your capacity. Here's how simple now goal setting. It's not mysterious. You don't have to anchor, you don't have to focus, you don't have to visualize, none of that. Here's how simple goal setting is. Changed my life. Decide what you want and write it down. I mean, that's how profound this stuff is. Decide what you want and write it down. Make a list. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to see? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to share? What projects would you like to support? What would you like to be known for? What skills would you like to learn? Some extraordinary things you'd like to do, ordinary things you'd like to do, right? Silly little things you'd like to do, very important things you'd like to do. Decide on all that stuff and write it down, write it down, write it down. That's how simple this stuff is. And it's your own private list. If it's really private, on your list, put some stuff in code where nobody can understand it if this list fell into unfriendly hands. And simple things, whatever. Foolish things, doesn't matter. It's your list. I had a little revenge on my first list. Budget finance, who used to harass me. I got 2 or 3 payments behind. This one guy called incessantly. Said, we're going to come get your car, drag it rear end up down the street in front of your neighbors. Put me down something fierce. When I met Shof, got my life straightened out, one of the first things on one of my lists is budget finance. And when I finally got the money, I needed a little drama in my life. Finally got the money to pay them all. I put it in small bills in a big brief. Walked into the budget finance office on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. The guy who harassed me so often, his desk was about 3 back. I opened the door, walked in, right up to his desk, stood right in front of me, never said a word. He said, "Well, what are you doing here?" Didn't say a word. I opened up this briefcase, dumped this pile of money all over his desk. I said, "Count it. It's all there. I'll never be back." Turned around, walked out, slammed the door. Now that might not be noble, but you got to try it at least one time. Pay off with a little drama. Got to check them off my list.
Hey, Grant Cardone here. I hope you're doing well today, and I want to share a message with you that I just worked with a group of entrepreneurs at a luncheon. I was asked to come in and do a Q&A. These were entrepreneurs from all over the world, and we did about an hour and a half Q&A where they just asked me great questions. And one of the things that came out of it, sorry, I just got out of the shower, but I wanted to share this message with you. One of the things that came out of it was a lady in the room, very, very successful CEO who's been following me for a while, asked me, "Grant, it seems like everything that you do somehow works." She's like, "How do you," and she was very clear that she's like, "I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that goes on that we don't see that doesn't work for you, but it appears that when you put your mind to something, you somehow make it work and you achieve your target." And I'm going to share with you what I do to do that, because it was a great question, one of the best questions I've been asked, actually. And it made me think about, okay, what is it that we do that, and we don't achieve every one of our targets, but a very large percentage we accomplish in my office. I'm talking about all the businesses I run 5 businesses. They all have different problems, different types of people involved. It could be e-commerce, or it could be us buying real estate or apartments and making them work. It could be us trying to find a deal that's off market, or it could be us bringing or launching a new product to the marketplace and trying to monetize that as quickly as possible. And I said to her, I said, "Look, the thing that I do at my company that is very unusual is that we are completely unreasonable, without reason, we don't use, yes, I'm logical, okay, yes, I'm a sane person, but when it comes to achieving a target, we do it with, like, we abandon reason and logic. We don't talk about, yeah, but, we never start, yeah, but, or no, we can't, or we couldn't because, or it didn't happen because. Anytime you're making sense of why something didn't work, we don't have the budget, we can't do that because, yeah, but we're different, you are being reasonable. The great things that have happened on this planet and continue to happen are because people are unreasonable. They literally abandon reason and logic. They defy the universe. Now, if you look around, if you're a logical person, if you're a person that has to make sense of it beforehand, then spend some time looking around the universe, look at nature, look at all the things that are done every day that literally defy gravity, defy possibility, defy physics. It's all over the place if you need to be reasonable. Now, in my case, I don't need to be reasonable because there's enough cases of super successful people doing things that are amazing, whether it was a manufacturing, a new product, or whether it was Steve Jobs coming back to Apple and turning that company around. Every day, look at Amazon. Look what Amazon has done. Okay, now you look at it, you're like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Make all products available online. Now it's a no-brainer. Now it's like, it's so logical. Look at Velcro. Velcro was like, God, I should have thought of that. See, but beforehand, it was completely out of reason that you could stick things together because they scratch one another. You understand what I'm saying? So look, this is what I want you to try. Try this in your life. It's going to be very difficult. It's one of the most difficult things I do is being unreasonable because all the people I'm surrounded by are trying to make sense of why they can't do something. Quit making sense of why you can't do something and become unreasonable until you do something. I have an appointment right now, and I shouldn't have done this video because I have an appointment. Now I'm going to have to rush off to the appointment. But you see, reason would say, you don't have time. And what I do is I practice every day being unreasonable. Little exercises. I'm going to be unreasonable. I'm going to shoot this right now. I'm going to get it done, and then I'm going to go get my hair cut. See what I'm saying? Be unreasonable. You don't have the budget? Good, go find the money. You don't know how to do this? Good, then do it anyway. Right? Be unreasonable. The real estate's not for sale. I'm trying to drop these shades. The real estate's not for sale. The real estate's not for sale. So what? Make an offer. You understand? I just bought an $80 million deal, trophy property in one of the major cities in the United States. Off market, not for sale, not interested in selling, and we just closed the deal. Why? Because I was completely unreasonable until we got the deal. Be unreasonable. Your mommy didn't teach you how, your daddy didn't teach you how. In fact, your kid, your parents, your teachers, society keeps telling you, be reasonable.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.
This is a message for people who have messed up, failed, faltered, blew it, did something stupid, got yourself in trouble, and you think your life is over because you did something stupid. No. Your life is not over. Yes, they're going to talk about you. Yes, they're going to bring up your past. Yes, there's going to be a chatter. Yes, there's going to be a threat over your head. But nothing that the enemy is chattering about has put out your fire. Oh, my God.
Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. You don't have a shortage of talent. You don't have a shortage of gifting. Your problem is you have corrupted character. And if your character is corrupted, it doesn't matter how talented you are. When push comes to shove, you will not last and you will not fulfill the mission God has for your life. And the best way to get good character is to remove bad company. Somebody say, check your circle.
I'm telling you, in every person's life, there's always a degree of chatter. Some little underground noise. Here you trying to be a mama and you never had one. You trying to be a daddy, what you know about being a dad? There's always some background noise to what you are trying to do. You gonna open up a business and you 2 months behind in your rents. And the moment you raise your hand and says, I'm going to do something, I can guarantee you that somebody's not gonna agree with what you're going to do. Somebody's not going to be supportive of what you're trying to do. Somebody's going to try to assassinate what you're trying to do. And yet you have to have the commitment and the calling and the tenacity and the character to be able to withstand the onslaught that comes against you in order to proceed toward your destiny and toward your purpose.
You want friends who, when something good happens to you, that's good for you, right? They're happy about that. They're not like all bitter and resentful underground, and like saying horrible things behind your back and telling you how they did something that was better and trying to drag you down. It's like, that's not helpful. And then when something bad happens to you and you go to them and you say, look, this terrible thing happened to me. First of all, they don't try to top it with some like horrible thing that happened to them because they don't have the patience to listen. And second, they're not secretly gloating about the fact that catastrophe finally befell you. It's like they're actually hurt by it. And that chapter is an injunction. It's like, take a look at the people that are around you. And if they're not on the side of what's good for you, then walk away.
I learned more about who I was from my haters. I had no idea I was even important enough to be hated on the level I was hated on. I couldn't even defend myself because I was shocked that you cared enough to write anything about me? Who am I that you would care anyway? Your hatred of me helped to tutor me into understanding my own significance. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying?
I think the biggest vulnerability you've got is you actually value somebody's opinion more than you value your own. Like, the reason I've been able to always do my thing is when I was 24 and people were like, oh, you work at your dad's liquor store? I heard that as like a chip on my shoulder, you know? I loved it. I was like, cool, keep sleeping on me, you know? Like, I'm glad you're on Wall Street making 100,000 buying BMWs and dumb jewelry. I'll see you in 30 years. Like, to me, the way you win is you realize you can't hear nobody. You gotta get real quiet up here. I can't hear anything. You go look at my Instagram right now, my first post, I'll post something, first 100 replies in 1 second. You're Jesus, you walk on water, you're the best, you're the all-time. Can't hear him. The next 100, you're a piece of, you're full of, you're a snake oil salesman. Can't hear him. I'm in my own mind, doing my own thing. And that comes with self-esteem. Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not worried about you renting out cash from the bank and putting it to your ear. I'm not worried you jumped a fence and took a photo in front of a private plane. What do you think these people are doing? They're posing.
You have goals and dreams you want to achieve. Ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And so many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And you have to have goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been.
And I'm going to tell you, I am amazed today at the people who allow criticism to shut down their assignment, who shrink into the abyss of depression, who walk away from what they have been called to do simply because everybody didn't validate them and support them. They simply gave up. It's amazing. In fact, I would be bodacious enough to say that you don't deserve the right to lead if you walk away just because somebody didn't agree with you. You don't need anybody who will just stand when times are good. You need somebody to stand when things are tough. I don't just need a good mama on a good day when the sun is shining and we can get along and everything's going. I need a good mama when the money is low, the circumstances are bad, all hell is breaking loose, I'm in trouble, I've almost lost my mind, but somebody who's going to stand there and be good in the midst of bullying and adversity. I need somebody who's going to stand there and be strong. In fact, good leadership is determined by tough times. You can't prove you're a good leader in good times. You prove good leadership in bad times and tough situations. So you earn the right to be heard through the things you suffer.
Be very careful of people who manipulate and play on your emotions. They get you to sympathize with them. They get you to feel sorry for them. This is not about being heartless. I need you to try your best to emotionally protect yourself from a specific characteristic.
Some of y'all are so used to operating overweight, you're never gonna get there. And guess what? You love negativity and dysfunction and keeping these negative people in your life so much. Even everything about this video, it makes you so uncomfortable, you probably stopped it a long time ago. I'm only talking to the people that are ready to get to the next level of their life and their career. And they're going to boldly walk into the next season of their life, unapologetically getting rid of all things, people, and situations that no longer belong in their life.
You run around with losers, you will end up a loser. Unconsciously, you will pick up their ways, you'll pick up their habits, you'll pick up, most importantly, their attitude about life. If you're around cynical, negative people all the time, you will become cynical and negative. Align yourself with people that can encourage you, people that can empower you, people that you can learn from, people that you can grow from. That's very important.
You're rich before you got the money. You're educated before you got the degree. You're a leader before you get the job. You're a visionary before you become a CEO. You're a wife before you get married. You're a husband before you find a woman. If you're not that before, you won't be after. So you have to go through a period of displacement where you have vision to function on a level and don't have opportunity, which creates frustration. Because you say, I feel this with everything I got inside of me, but nothing outside has acknowledged me on the level that I think on. I'm under attack, but I'm still on fire. I got some chatter, but I'm still on fire. I got some threat, but I'm still on fire. I've been to hell and back, but I'm still burning. Last time I tried it, I got in trouble, but I'm still burning. I got some haters that's trying to destroy me, but I'm still burning. Does anybody understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You want to align yourself with people who think like you, people who dream like you, people who want more out of life, people that are stretching and searching and seeking some higher ground in life, as opposed to the majority of people. Somebody said, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. You see, you don't want to be on the bottom. See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. It doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there on a low level. But it calls on everything in you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself. Sometimes I have to pull myself out of bed and say, come on, Les. Things I know I should do, I don't do. Things I shouldn't do, I do. I found that the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
Beware of vision, dream, and passion killers. Most of the people that have no dreams will wake up every day trying to talk you out of your dreams. They have no goals. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. So they will talk you out of all the shit that you're excited about. Family and friends, in most cases, sad to even say this, family and friends in most cases will be the first to try and talk you out of something that you're passionate, excited about, and that you have a vision for.
You can't try to help me by talking about me. It's totally different to talk to the person as opposed to talking about them. But all of us live in a world that we have to deal with criticism. And even amongst those who criticize us with evil intent, there may be something that you can learn from the criticism that will sharpen you and make you better. There are those people who say things maliciously and angrily to hurt, to assassinate you or your character or your talent or your ability. And even though their intentions are evil and wicked and corrupt, there may be some morsel of truth in what they said that helps you to hone yourself and prepare yourself and make yourself better so that you might be able to stand. Take what's good, leave what's bad, and keep on walking. When you are criticized, you are not ignored. That means that somebody noticed you, that you were doing something, that you attracted enough attention, that you made enough difference, that you got on the radar screen enough that they're talking about you. Don't run from them talking about you. They noticed you. They recognized you. There are some people that they're not talking about because they didn't even notice that they came in the room. You draw attention. And people who draw attention will also draw criticism. And the only way to avoid all criticism is to do nothing and then be ignored.
What we really want is not just success, we want fulfillment. The way we get fulfillment is self-respect, is self-confidence. And that's how somehow in your life you must begin to separate what you do from what people think about it. The people that have really won in life and in business, they eventually drop the addiction to what other people think about them. They're most concerned about what they think about them, or if they're a person of faith, of what their God thinks about them. Not the rest of the world, because the higher you climb, the more haters you're going to have. There's absolutely no question about it. You ought to hope you have more of them. The only thing I will warn people of is the higher you climb, the closer to you the haters are. So right now, if you're at one level of success, it's people at a distance that are haters. But as you climb higher, there's always those one or two people in your close circle who begin to try to pull you back down because they think you're leaving them. They make you, your success is making them uncomfortable about where they are. And so they begin to do everything they can to pull you back down.
I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. In the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of pain, a lot of setbacks. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine.
Anybody who is determined to do something, who wants something to be different, it will eventually be different. You're gifted, you're talented. God has much bigger plans for you in your life. Everything around you is going to change as soon as you change the things around you. It's very simple. You can be in the hood, change your mind, and everything about your bank account, your surroundings, your environment, for your kids, the safety of any and everything going on will all change. I'm tired of everybody running around complaining as if you're on the receiving end of whatever this world wants to dump on you and you don't have a choice. It's time to grow up, man. It's tired of people to really get out of this, excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. I want you to be successful. I want you to stop coming up with reasons and excuses as to why you're doing the same shit over and over and over and over.
Respect, my friend, is never given, it must be earned. People don't respect you just because you take a title or because you sit behind a desk or because you open up a business or because you start a company or because you start a ministry. People don't respect you just because you wear a certain outfit or you put a hat on your head. People respect you when you can take a licking and keep on ticking and stand for something.
You gotta go, man. You just have to go. Never wait on the right time, because the right time ain't ever coming.
Beast mode, it's a lifestyle that becomes your nature. We all know these people who spend the whole year doing nothing, sitting still. And then all of a sudden, for 3 weeks out of the year, they suddenly spring into action and things start moving, results start coming in. And right when you think you might be looking at a different person, they go right back to where they were 3 weeks before and stay there for another year. These are the New Year resolution beach body people. These are the people who want to lose the weight. They talk about losing the weight, buy the gear to lose the weight, get a membership, get into position to lose the weight, but quit because training is at 5:30 in the morning.
Everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to be the top of the top until it's time to do what Phenomenal does. I'm not scared that some kid's gonna take my spot. If he does, he's gonna have to do it with sweat. He's gonna have to do it with tears. He's gonna have to do it with blood. He is going to have to get up at 2:30 in the morning. If he can get up every day at 2:30, he deserves to take my spot. Some people are taking your spot and they shouldn't take it, but because you're average, it's easy to take your spot. It's easy. It's easy to take that client before you get to him. It's easy. It's easy to beat you while you average. But let me tell you something. Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do.
Right now is a time of year where you can really separate yourself. You can separate yourself from other people, your competition, but you can also separate yourself from where you are, from the standards you've set. You can separate yourself from your current position to a new position in your relationships, your money, your body, your business. If somebody's ahead of you, it's difficult to catch them when they're at full speed. It just is. It's difficult. They're in front of you. They're running full speed. You're chasing them down. It's difficult to catch at those times. But where you do catch people is during what I call separation seasons. And these are the seasons where some people begin to flinch. They get weak. They take time off. They relax. They get casual about their routine. Maybe they're not as sure about their standards as they once were. And when they do that, they flinch. Bam, you blow their doors off because you keep pushing and separate yourself during that time. This isn't just about competing against other people. It's separating yourself from where you currently are, which is what all of you want to do. It's called growing.
You see, beast mode is about the hunt. And if you don't get that, if you don't understand that, then you'll think that you can just turn it on whenever you want. I've got to pass this class. Time to get into beast mode. I've got to get this promotion. Time to get into beast mode. That's not how it works. It's about the hunt. The hunt is what terrifies people. People don't even understand the hunt because it's primal. It's do or die. It's all or nothing. The hunt.
Why is it you can give someone everything? Support, encouragement, education, money, opportunity. And the people you give the most to sometimes spend their life going in and out of rehab their whole life. And then you see people that life is just kicked in the teeth. People have been through any form of abuse, mental, emotional, physical, any. People that had no opportunity, who somehow developed the one factor that will separate you from all those people that talk a good game and make you one of the few who do. It's called hunger. See, if you look at Sir Richard Branson, a good friend of mine, Richard, this guy's as hungry today as when he was 16 years old, starting virgin in a crypt there in England. In his late 60s, he's got the same drive.
The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. Sometimes you act on it good, sometimes bad. You gotta change the internal dialogue. Until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality, that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you gotta change that shit, man. And if you keep that mentality, you're gonna stay in the same exact spot that you're in.
You're not gonna drop 42 pounds in one season. That's gonna take some endurance. You're not going to become your best self all by yourself. That's going to take some collaboration. So stop trying to be a beast for a week and realize that it's about a lifestyle. You live it day in and day out. And when you practice that long enough, it becomes your nature.
In life, we really will never exceed what we believe we're worth. We just never will. And so if you can begin to do things you think other people aren't willing to do, or maybe do things the former you weren't willing to do, you begin to believe that the new you deserves things other people won't get, and the new you deserves to get things the former you didn't get either. And so this is why this season is so critical. And I've stacked up maybe 30 straight separation seasons. There's other ones. There's summertime, right? There's times like that. But right now is the big one. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Everyone gets kind of casual. Everyone slows down. And one day turns into 3 days, turns into 4 days. You know, Christmas is a holiday. It's not a holiday. New Year's Eve is a holiday, not a holiday or a holiday. But people keep taking these holidays and holidays this time of year, and it's when you get them. It's when you get the former you. It's when this new version of you emerges. So take advantage of this season. It's the greatest of all seasons. And I can tell you it's one of the reasons why, if I do have some good things going on in my life, is I separated during this time. I separated from the old me, and I separated from my competition.
It takes both emotion and logic for you to reach your maximum potential, to really give everything you have and go beyond your limits. So when it doesn't make sense, logical sense to go on, that's when you got to use your emotion. That's when you got to use that anger, that frustration, that fear to push yourself harder, to push yourself to say, I don't stop. So you fight the weak emotions with the power of logic, and you fight the weakness of logic with the power of emotions. And in the balance of those two, that's where you find the strength and the tenacity and the guts to say to yourself, I don't stop.
It's a dogfight of skills and talents and luck and faith and circumstance and blessing and all that stuff. But just to get to the table, to get into the room, you have to believe you deserve to be there. The hard work part plays into shifting your identity. That over time, not even that long a period of time, when you're doing the things others are unwilling to do, you begin quietly to begin to believe that, oh, I deserve to be rewarded in ways these other people aren't going to be rewarded because I'm doing the things others won't do. And so the fastest way to change your identity, to change our belief, is just to flat get to work, to flat get there earlier, to flat leave later, to just make more calls, see more people, be more relentless, just pour ourselves into the work, because actually the hard work can in reverse impact our identity. And that's the key in changing your belief. So ask yourself this question honestly, in whatever business you're in. Have you done everything physically and mentally possible to get yourself to that table? If you've done everything you're capable of, if you've been relentless and ferocious and invested so much time, effort, and energy that inside you, you know you deserve to win. Or if you held something in reserve, if you've not really given it your best, if you kind of hoped you'd get a little bit luckier, well, it's that little bit of reserve you hold back that will ultimately keep you from sitting at the table of success.
How do we start to strengthen our belief in that what we imagine is possible to turn it into reality? And there's 2 or 3 ways. One is to believe your own testimony. If you've done it before, why couldn't you do it again? If you've done it once, couldn't you do it the second time? Why not believe in your own testimonial? I was rich by age 31 and broke by age 33. You know, I lost the money, but I didn't lose the skills. And that's what's important about personal development. You can lose the money, but not the skills, so who cares about the money? Unless it's getting late, right? And you're like 90, and you know, it's a little difficult to go back to the streets, but hey, once you've got the skills, you own the skills. So we start with imagination, which is almost real. I mean, it's not real yet. It's not tangible yet, but it's almost real. Now we move to faith, to believe that what we imagine is possible. So we study our own testimony. If we've done it before, we can do it again. Here's what else we study. Other testimonials of somebody who did it. Somebody that built a hotel said, yes, I started with some plans, finally believed it was possible, and here it is. You say, well, if it's possible for one, it's possible for another. In fact, sometimes when we hear the testimonial, here's how they finish. If I can do it, you can do it. See, that's a classic testimonial that gives us now what we call faith. Faith is generated by what we hear, the vocabulary of what we hear, the vocabulary of what we read. That generates faith, to believe that it's possible. Now, faith is not reality. You can't say faith is nothing, because it affects. It's like radiation. To us, it's nothing because it can't be seen. But radiation is so powerful it can kill you. Right? You can't see it, but it has an incredible effect. And that's true of faith. Faith can't be seen, but it has an incredible effect on your attitude, on your behavior, on your disciplines, on your work for the day, and all the rest. So faith is tangible in that sense, that it affects the emotions, it affects the drive. It's called the unseen magic. But now here's what we do with faith and imagination. We deposit it in disciplines and activity. Imagination without the activity to translate it into reality serves no purpose. But wisdom and faith deposited in activity creates reality. The reality of a career, the reality of a hotel that wasn't there.
See, if you wake up every day and you say you're not a morning person, you're doing a serious disservice to yourself. Because your attitude determines your altitude. A lot of your mornings start off bad because you've taken claim that you're not a morning person. Why would you not be a morning person when the whole goal is to wake up every morning? You gotta be in the life-changing business. People have got to look at you like a light. Something should be in you that shows other people that there's hope. You don't know this about yourself, but you're gonna be that person one day. And you gotta start preparing for what you wanna be. At least let God know you're glad you're alive. If you don't let nobody else, you don't know it, but you're gonna be a light one day. And people gonna look to you for that light.
I believe in winning the battle against yourself. Because there's a lot of things you can control. When you wake up and talk about making your bed, make your bed, make sure your house is clean, make sure you get your breakfast, make sure you shower, shave, whatever you're doing, control that. Don't hit the snooze button. All these things are very important. That's been told a lot of times. Why don't you hit the snooze button? Because you wake up already failing. You're already behind the power curve. So what happens when you hit this snooze button? You may not make your bed. You may not pick the right clothes out in the morning time. So that's the mindset that I think it's important to bring with you every day you go, everywhere you go in life.
Time is the inexplicable raw material of everything. With it, all is possible. Without it, nothing. The supply of time is truly a daily miracle, an affair genuinely astonishing when one examines it. You wake up in the morning and lo, your purse is magically filled with 24 hours of the unmanufactured tissue of the universe of your life. It is yours. It is the most precious of possessions. No one can take it from you. It is unstealable. And no one receives either more or less than you receive. In the realm of time, there is no aristocracy of wealth and no aristocracy of intellect. Genius is never rewarded by even an extra hour a day. And there is no punishment. Waste your infinitely previous commodity as much as you will, and the supply will never be withheld from you. You cannot waste tomorrow. It is kept for you. You cannot waste the next hour. It is kept for you. I have said the affair was a genuine miracle. Is it not? You have to live on this 24 hours of daily time. Out of it, you have to spend health, pleasure, money, content, respect, and the evolution of your immortal soul. Its right use, its most effective use, is a matter of the highest urgency and of the most thrilling actuality. All depends on that. Your happiness, the elusive prize that you are all clutching for, my friends, depends on that.
How do you have time for anything? How do you have time to dink around on Facebook? How do you have time to watch hours and hours of TV? How do you have time to do anything? It's simply because that's where you put the priority. So don't tell yourself you don't have time. Just say it's not important. And maybe it isn't, and that's okay. But if it is, make the time to get it done.
If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. Complain, point at your circumstances, give up your power, blame the government. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. It's hard to make a radical change in your behavior. It's hard to take ownership. It's hard to swallow the bitter pill that wherever you find yourself, at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. That's hard.